Welcome everybody. Today on Smokin' Sassy, we are making this beautiful pumpkin cheesecake souffle. I know. First off, I want not to be afraid when we say cheesecake souffle because it's really not very hard to do. The nice thing about it is it will give you that pumpkin dessert, something that's an alternative to pumpkin pie. If you don't like pumpkin, I absolutely want to recommend the banana cream pie video. Just hop on over there. As a matter of fact, you're probably going to need to hop over there because you're going to want to see the whipped cream, the brown sugar whipped cream. We added a little whiskey today because it's a holiday, so it's totally up to you. We also have another pumpkin recipe that's out there, and it is
our smoked pumpkins with caramel and marshmallows.
So we have a lot of delicious desserts for you, and we really recommend that you watch the videos and make a decision and top off your meal with something yummy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the oven temperature to 350 degrees and preheat it.
Okay.
Okay, and then like anything in baking, we're going to go ahead and we're going to butter the ramekins. This is kind of important if you want to get the souffle out of the ramekins. But guess what?
What?
There are times that they don't come out, and so I'll serve them in the ramekins and say, that's how I meant to do it. So, you know, why baking isn't all that forgiving, presentation can be sometimes, but I'm just buttering the inside. I have done this with Pam, just sprayed the Pam in there, but I decided to go with butter today. So, okay, are we ready to get started?
Let's go, let's get started.
Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to do 4 eggs separated, right? Egg whites, egg yolks. And it's okay if you have a little bit of egg white in with your egg yolks, but don't get any egg yolks in your egg whites.
Is that a saying?
No, I just made it up. Okay. In our mixer though, we have 4 tablespoons of butter at room temperature, a package of cream cheese at room temperature, and a half a cup of pumpkin puree. And we're just gonna go ahead and mix that, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Perfect, stop. Okay. Once that mixture is all nice and creamy together, we're gonna add the eggs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add 1 egg yolk at a time, mix it, and then add the next egg yolk, right? So here we go. Don't forget to scrape your bowl. You don't need to over mix your eggs. So we're just gently combining all of that. All right, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our flour and our spices, and you can look in the comments and it will give you the recipe for that. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix it one more time, and then we're going to add our milk. So we're going to go ahead and do that while it's mixing, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're just going to scrape the sides with the flour, and if you notice, I added a teaspoon of vanilla. Now my sister's here and she probably had a heart attack. Yes, you should use a measuring spoon, but I didn't. I just used a regular teaspoon. Okay, now that we have that incorporated, as it continues to mix, I'm going to just add a cup of milk. The milk should be at room temperature. Okay, this looks absolutely lovely. We're going to add it to a separate bowl, and we're going to whip our egg whites. All right, so we're going to add our 4 egg whites into a bowl, and we're going to just start whipping those until it's nice and fluffy. Okay, so once your egg whites are nice and fluffy and we put a lot of air in there, which is what we need for a souffle, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of sugar just now until it's glossy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar, and we're just going to now whip it until it is nice and glossy. Okay, look how beautiful these egg whites are. don't taste them. I mean, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna say, this is gorgeous and I wanna taste it. It won't taste good, not yet. All right, what we wanna do is take about 1/3 of the egg whites and I'm gonna just gently fold it in. We want to fold because we do not want to beat out the airiness that we just put in all of these egg whites. And that airiness is what's going to give us the height of the souffle. And then you're going to add another 1/3 and you're going to fold it in, and then another 1/3 and you're going to fold it in. Full disclosure, my chocolate seized up when I was melting. It happens, right? It probably had a little bit of water in the bowl, and chocolate does not like water. But I don't want to waste it either. And so I had a trick from a baker that's been on the Food Network and teaches classes here in Utah. Fillings and Emulsions, if you're in Utah, check him out. He's great. But all I did was added a little tiny, maybe a 1/2 teaspoon of milk. And look, it definitely took care of that. So I'm so excited. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our souffle mixture and we're going to just fill the ramekins up about 2/3 of the way. And if you've noticed, my ramekins are in a pan and the pan has water in it. Whether you're doing a souffle or a cheesecake, and this is kind of a combination of both, you want to add the water to the bottom of the pan to help it so that it doesn't get really hard or it doesn't crack. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So when it doesn't work, why is that?
I have no idea. I just think it's the baking gods who were against me that day.
I always blame my mistakes on the altitude.
Yeah, I've done that a few times too.
Altitude.
Like, I took a French cooking class where we did souffles, and the crazy thing was, even in the class with the professional chef there, and he cooked in Paris, some of our souffles worked and some of them didn't, even within the same group of people. So we'd pull out a pan and half were fine and half weren't. If you're really going to be a perfectionist, you can weigh these even to make sure that they all weigh the same. That's going to make some sense just because you don't want to overcook some and undercook some. But now we are going to just top them with a little bit of chocolate. And then when you get that, if you can, just kind of mix it in a little bit with your toothpick. People that are really good at this, they can actually do designs. I'm not really good at this, so we're just going to mix it in a little bit. We're going to pop these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to go ahead and lower the temperature to 300, and we're going to cook them, 40-45 minutes. Check them and see how they're doing, and don't overcook them. You don't want to make too much noise. You don't want to bang on the stove. You don't want to do anything like that while the soufflés are baking. Okay, let's finish them up.
That is really good.
And that's so light and airy.
Yeah, and that chocolate in there too.
Yeah, I forgot too. We added a swirl of chocolate down into the pumpkin cheesecake. I'm telling you, it might absolutely take the place of pumpkin pie.
Definitely. This is definitely a great substitute for pumpkin pie. And you can make little dishes like this and hand them out, instead of slicing up pie or whatever.
Yeah, and people will think you're all fancy.
Yep, exactly.
So I want you to taste, savor, and enjoy. And regardless of what holiday you're celebrating, I want you to have a great time with your friends and loved ones. And what do you want?
Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button, and please leave comments.